Hi folks, this is just a very brief update to tell you that we are praying for you in the midst of stinky old lockdown again at the moment. This Sunday we arrive at our final section of Colossians. I know, it's sad, isn't it? Cue violins as we get to the end of Colossians. But Paul begins this final section saying, really encouraging them to devote themselves to prayer. Being watchful, being thankful, he says. Now, as we've been talking together as a pastoral team, as I've been preparing to preach just for this Sunday, I wanted to take a moment just to reflect on this devotion to prayer. If I understand Colossians rightly, then actually it's really logical that Paul lands on this issue of prayer at the end of the letter. It's not, as the NIV really unhelpfully puts it, further instructions, as if Paul was kind of racking his brains to know how to sign off the letter. Actually, it's a really glorious punchline to so much of what he's said already. We pray not by focusing on prayer technique or something like that, but actually because of the one that we're praying to, our plentiful Jesus. And it's really encouraging to know that others are praying too. I want you to know that we are praying for you. I don't want to spoil what's coming this Sunday, but Paul actually really asks the Colossians to pray for him with some very specific prayer requests. He knows that he needs it, and it's an encouragement to him to think that the Colossians will be praying for him. So I just want to mention two things very briefly, just about kind of our devotion to prayer. The first is simply this, okay? There is a layer of prayer support at City Church that you may not be aware of, and I want to make you aware of it. Of course, we encourage you to belong to your home group, to share as honestly as you can, to pray together as fervently as you can. But actually, if you would like particular prayer for something or someone right now, then you can also email prayer@city-church.org.uk. Okay, prayer@city-church.org.uk. It'll then be picked up, it'll be prayed for within the pastoral care team, but it can also then be communicated in the prayer e-notice so that church members can be aware and can be praying, and placed on the website for others to see and to pray. Now, if you don't want it to go public, that's absolutely fine. Just make that clear in the email and know that the pastoral care team will be praying for you. Secondly, I don't know about you, but when the prayer e-notice comes through each week, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And sometimes, if I'm honest, I don't always know everybody. I don't know everybody's names and that kind of thing. But why don't you, as that comes through each week, just commit to praying for 2 or 3 people, people whose names you recognize perhaps, or where you know something of their circumstance, and just be praying for them. Over the next few weeks, we'll be adding a little bit of information to help us pray in an informed way for the frontline workers in our church, which I think will help us as well. It feels like the right thing to be doing at this time. Or just simply commit yourself to pray for 2 or 3 people in your home group and tell them, I'm praying for you, Jeffrey, I'm praying for you. You know, a guy I hardly know from outside of the church, he emailed me just last week, and he simply said, you know, I think you probably need my prayer, John, right now, and I'm praying for you. And I have to say, it was so encouraging. You won't believe what a difference it made to my week. When I was 15, I started attending a Baptist church in Scarborough, and this ferocious older lady, Doreen Brown, came sidling up to me one Sunday. And now she had been a missionary. She'd smuggled Bibles into China. She was like an extraordinary lady, a force to be reckoned with. And she just fixed me with her eye, and she had a Scottish accent, so I'll do my best. But she fixed me with her eye, and she just said, John James, I'm praying for you. John James, I'm praying. Like this. And it was the most scariest thing I'd ever kind of come across in my life. But 2 years later, I was professing faith and was baptized in the North Sea. And man, I mean, here I am today. So, you know, that's the power of prayer. And Doreen's got a lot to answer for, I think it's fair to say. But I don't know who you need to fix with your eye and tell them that you're praying. But do it. do it, because actually it's so encouraging to know that we're praying for each other. And let's be, as Paul reminds us to be, devoted to prayer, watchful and thankful. And do use the email address prayer@city-church.org.uk if you'd like to. And please know, dear friends, we're praying for you.